His Excellency Mridul Kumar, the Indian High Commission to Malaysia, Srimati Sumati Goyal, and dear devotees of the Lord. Today marks the culmination of our Geeta Jaynti. The Yatra started on 1st December 2018. Today is the 18th day. It marks the day when Lord Krishna revealed the Gita to Arjuna at the battlefield of Kurukshetra, right in between the two armies, the Pandavas on one side and the Kauravas on the other side. This revelation or dialogue took place some 5,200 years ago. Today's chapter was hosted by the India-Malaysia Heritage Group, and we heard an excellent presentation on chapter 18 from His Excellency Mridul Kumar. I must say, it was a summary. Chapter 18 is a summary of the whole Gita, and you did an excellent job. Not only that, it was very thought-provoking, some of the questions just... if His Excellency can squeeze some time from his busy schedule, we would be honored to have him here to give us a discourse on other chapters of the Bhagavad Gita. We are indeed very grateful to His Excellency and the India-Malaysia Heritage Group for today's event. May Shri Krishna shower his blessings on them. I noticed a good number of devotees have been coming every day, and I'm sure they have benefited a great deal, not only in gaining knowledge, but also in purifying their mind and charging themselves with positive energy. Lord Krishna, in verse 71 of chapter 18, states that the man who hears this sacred dialogue of Sri Krishna and Arjuna with faith, who does not cavil, he will be liberated and shall attain the higher region attained through deeds of merit. Earlier in the same chapter, in verse 68, Sri Krishna states that, who with supreme adoration to me shall teach this supreme secret to my devotees, he shall attain me. Of this, there's no doubt. So, on behalf of the management committee, I like to thank all the devotees, the hosts, and speakers who have participated in this Geeta Jaynti. On behalf of the management, I also like to thank the members of the spiritual committee for organizing the Geeta Jaynti program, Pujya Panditji and Mangesh for ensuring the smooth daily implementation of the Gita Mahayagna, and all the devotees who have been coming to participate in this yagna. Now you may ask, what is the key message of the Gita? Well, you heard one view from here, from His Excellency. I also want to refer to yesterday's speaker, Pami, who beautifully also explained to us the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. She did chapter 17 and she also covered virtually the whole Gita. In its simplest form, it is my dharma. Follow your dharma to nourish this world. It can loosely be taken as doing my duty. Of course, duty and dharma are similar, but dharma is broader. When we talk of duty, it can be duty as a father, duty as a son, duty as a brother, duty as an employee or an employer, and so on. It can be considered, the Gita can be considered a code or a guide to lead a righteous life. The Gita also is a study of the mind. That is, how to control your mind. And you know the gunas play havoc. Problems during the Mahabharata and now are still the same. If we can control our mind, then we can control our actions. We have three instruments, the body, mind, and intellect, to help us to lift ourselves, uplift ourselves. In short, discipline the body to do karma yoga, and that is the right action with right attitude. Chapters 1 to 6 talk about it. Chapters 7 to 12 is Bhakti Yoga, where you bring your mind closer to the Lord through satsang, bhajans, mantras, and so on. And finally, strengthen your intellect through Gyan Yoga, chapters 13 to 18, where you listen, you contemplate, and you meditate. Through Karma Yoga, you purify your mind, and once purified, you are then ready for knowledge, which will eventually lead you to moksha. Moksha means, as you pointed out very correctly, it's actually Jivan Mukta. In other words, while you are living, you attain that state. This is my understanding of Gita, and I find that the spiritual path is not an easy path to follow. Okay, now to those who are new to the ashram, I wish to inform them we are plowing ahead to get our multi-purpose hall ready. This hall, once completed, can be utilized for weddings, spiritual talks, seminars, workshops, private functions, etc. Besides completing the hall, we will need to undertake landscaping work, rebuild our boundary wall, construct our car park, and install lighting. We will also need to build a permanent havan area. For all these, we need to raise additional funds. We look forward to the kind generosity of all present here and their friends to help us in fulfilling our development program for Geeta Ashram, Malaysia. Thank you. Jai Sri Krishna. Jai Gurudev.
This month, the whole month is being carried on. The last 18 days is the yagna was carried, Geeta yagna was carried on, and it's supposed to be very pious.
और जब भी हम किसी के जन्मदिन पे जाते हैं, बर्थडे पे जाते हैं, तो उसको उपहार के तौर में कुछ गिफ्ट प्रदान करते हैं.
Whenever we go to someone's birthday, we always take a gift along with us.
वैसे ही आज हम गीता आश्रम में भगवान श्री कृष्ण के समक्ष गीता माता के जन्मदिन पर भगवान के समक्ष एक दीपक प्रज्वलित करके प्रकाश करेंगे और माता गीता से आशीर्वाद प्राप्त करेंगे कि हमारे जीवन में भी प्रकाश बना रहे और श्रीमद् भगवत गीता के बताए हुए मार्ग पे चलकर हमारा यह मनुष्य जीवन जो है वो कृतार्थ हो और सफल हो.
The same way as we take a gift for the person whose birthday we go, same way today we have come to Geeta Mata's birthday. So in place of that, we have the diyas at the back. So we would like you to participate in that thing. Light a diya in front of the Lord and have the prayer that you please lighten our life and bless our life so that we can lead our life piously in this world. And in the same way we put that lighted diya in front of the Lord Krishna.
विभूत योग में भगवान श्री कृष्ण ने अर्जुन को बताया कि इस चराचर ब्रह्मांड में जहां कहीं भी ऐश्वर्य दिखता है वह मेरा ही स्वरूप है. इसलिए हम गीता माता के जन्मदिन पर एक दीपक प्रज्वलित करके हम भी अपने जीवन में ऐश्वर्य प्राप्त करना चाहते हैं और भगवान श्री कृष्ण के बताए हुए मार्ग पे चलकर हम अपने जीवन को सफल बनाना चाहते हैं. जय श्री कृष्ण, जय गुरुदेव.
In Vibhuti Yoga, Shri Krishna has said that we light the diya very nicely in front. The same way we should light the diya and lead our life with the blessing of the good Lord piously in this world. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev.
Om Shri Krishna Chandra Ananda Chandra Mukundari Varadharam Yashunanda Gopi Chanda Kataru Panda Bhava Bhayaharam Navakancha Lochana Tilakaro Chana
बाहुवतुलन तया विचलयादि पुरुषय कारणं करुणानिधान सुजान सुन्दर सुलभ संतन तारणं सुखधाम दाता नाम श्याम निकाम वाम विहारणम्। ॐ सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते। ॐ गजाननं भूतगणाधिसेवितं कपित्थजम्बूफलचारुभक्षणम् उमासुतं शोकविनाशकारिणं नमामि विघ्नेश्वरपादपङ्कजम्। ॐ अतुलितबलधामं हेमशैलावदेहं धनुजवनकृतानं ज्ञानिनामग्रगण्यं सकलगुणनिधानं वानराणामतीतं रघुपति प्रियभक्तं वासिजातं नमामि। मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयुध्यमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शरणं प्रपद्ये। ॐ गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वर गुरुसाक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च तथा त्वमेव विद्याधरिणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव। ॐ सहना भवन्तु सहनो भुवन्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। ॐ ब्रह्मार्पणं ब्रह्महवि ब्रह्मणो ब्रह्मणाहुतं ब्रह्मैव तेन गन्तव्यं ब्रह्मकर्म समाधिना। अहं वैश्वानरो भूत्वा प्राणिनां देहमाश्रितः प्राणापानसमायुक्तः पचामयन्नं चतुर्विधं शांति शांति शांति। बोलिए श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की जय, दुर्गा माता की जय, गणेश गजानन भगवान की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, गीता माता की जय, परम पूज्य सद्गुरुदेव भगवान की जय, गौ माता की जय, गीता आश्रम की जय। ओम सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ओम शांति शांति शांति।
हरि ओम गणानान्त्वा गणपतिं हवामहे, प्रियानान्त्वा प्रियपतिं हवामहे, निधीनान्त्वा निधिपतिं हवामहे। वसो मम आहम जानि गर्भधं, मा त्वं जासि गर्भधम्। ओम चंद्रमा मनसो जाचक्षसो, सूर्यो अजायत, श्रोतादायुष्य प्राणस्य मुखादग्निर्जायत। ओम हरि ओम स्वस्ति न इंद्रो वृद्धश्रवाः, स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः, स्वस्ति नः तारक्षो अरिष्टनेमिः, स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ओम येन बद्धो बलिराजा, दानवेन्द्रो महाबलो, ते त्वामनुबध्नामि, रक्षेमाचलमाचल। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं, देवकी परमानन्दं, कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। राधा देवी जगत्कर्त्री, जगत्पालन तत्परा, जगत्लय विधात्री च, सर्वे श्री सर्वसूतिकाम्। ओम द्यौ शान्ति अन्तरिक्षगं शान्ति, पृथिवी शान्ति, रापः शान्ति, रोषधयः शान्ति, वनस्पतयः शान्ति, विश्वे देवाः शान्ति, ब्रह्म शान्ति, सर्वगुं शान्ति, शान्तिरेव शान्ति, सामां शान्तिरेधि, सुशान्तिर्भवतु। यतो यतः समीहसे, ततो नो अभयं, कुरु सं न कुरु, प्रजाभ्यो न पशुभ्य, सुशान्तिर्भवतु। ओम शांति शांति शांति।
Thank you, His Excellency and Madam Sumita Goyal. And we'll continue with the program. I'd like to call upon the representative for the Malaysian Indian Heritage, Mr. Sen Gupta, to give the welcome speech. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev.
Jai Shri Krishna, His Excellency Sri Vidul Kumar, High Commissioner for India in Malaysia, His Gracious Lady, Tan Sri Kishu, Puan Sri Mona, the Acting President of the Geeta Ashram Malaysia, Dato' Fateh Chan, members of the Geeta Ashram Committee, members of the India-Malaysia Heritage, distinguished guests, and my friends. I stand here this evening to speak on behalf of the India-Malaysia Heritage. We members of the Indian-Malaysia Heritage are privileged to be here this evening to be your humble hosts for this Geeta Jaynti celebrations. I believe today is the last day, the 18th day, the culmination of the Geeta Jaynti, and it seems very apt, very appropriate as we are towards the end of the year 2018. I'm sure over the past 18 days, the vibrations from the members and devotees of the Geeta Ashram Malaysia have been tremendous. And this certainly will augur very well, not only for the members, not only for the members of the Indian community, but also for all Malaysians as well as Indians. As members of the India-Malaysia Heritage, over the past few months, I think we have been quite active. We have been working very closely with the Indian High Commission, organizing a number of events, especially to coincide the celebrations of Father of Indian Independence, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. Some of us have witnessed these celebrations, and I can tell you that those of you who have not met our new Indian High Commissioner, he has, over the past, I think less than a month here, created much of an impact. His support towards Indian culture, towards Indian heritage, I think he has lived up to the strong traditions left by his predecessors. I'm not going to take too much of time because I think we would all want to hear the discourse from His Excellency. But before I take my seat, can I just ask the members of India-Malaysia Heritage to please stand up and be recognized. Yeah. We are well represented, and I must also say that I'm no stranger to Geeta Ashram. I've been here a number of times. I've been a life member of Geeta Ashram, and it's always a privilege to be here in the midst of all friends. So, thank you very much. I'm sure we had a very enriching evening, and what better than to hear it concluded by none other than His Excellency Sri Vidul Kumar. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Sen Gupta. Now we'd like to call upon His Excellency Sri Vidul Kumar to deliver us the discourse on chapter 18 of the Bhagavad Gita. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev.
Nobody coming in. Asadoma Sadgamaya Tamsoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. प्रेमी जनों सभी बोलो जय श्री कृष्ण महाराज की जय। फतेह चंद जी, members of India Malaysia Heritage Group, committee members of Geeta Ashram, so many distinguished friends I see here. But I think when you are sitting at the feet of the Lord, there are no protocols. This is the time when we leave behind all our ego. And remember what he has said time and again. Little did I realize when I first accepted this invitation that what I'm getting into. It has been, very honestly, one of the most difficult of tasks given by any individual, and I blame Shakuntala ji and Prabhakaran ji for taking advantage of my close association with them over the last several months on Gandhi and many other related events. I've spent literally many sleepless nights mulling over what I'm going to say. But of course, discourse is not the word. How can I claim that I can speak on the 18th chapter of this most beautiful of the philosophical song that humanity has ever produced? Completely presumptuous on my part. I can never arrogate that I have understood. I have internalized this extraordinary message which came to the mankind from none other than the Lord. प्रभाकरन जी, मैं अकेला यूं ही मजे में था, मुझे आप किस लिए मिल गए? So one who has understood this extraordinary message, I think he has understood everything. But now, I stand against you, in front of you, with trepidation, like Arjun had at the time of fighting that battle. But Lord told him, exhorted him, that you do what you need to do. You act. So I will have to act now. And I'll act based on whatever little understanding I have, not on 18th chapter of Gita, but on the Hindu philosophy in general. What we represent as a civilization, as a people, and as a culture. We are all in search for that fundamental question, the primal quest. Maybe today, we sit together, we again ask that question. Maybe, in our own specific individual ways, we find some answers to those fundamental questions. And may I repeat those questions which come to me, which have come to all people, all through ages, which have been answered by none other than the Lord, whenever He found the answers are required to be told to humanity. What is it? Knowing which, nothing needs to be known further. Very fundamental. Who am I? The moment you ask yourself these questions, the moment you ask yourself, what is my purpose? What is the purpose of this life which has been given? Then you start finding certain answers which you forget in your daily routine of life. Shwet Ketu and Abdalak, son and the father. Shwet Ketu was 12 years old. Father told him, son, time has come. Go and educate yourself on the path of truth. Son goes away, learns for 12 years in the feet of extraordinary gurus, comes back a man full of conceit and arrogance, of a learned person. Comes to father, and the father asks him, what have you learned? Looking at him, the man full of conceit and arrogance. Father asks him about the knowledge. But which knowledge is that by which we hear but cannot be heard? What is that knowledge by which we perceive that cannot be perceived? And what is that knowledge by which we know but cannot be known? Shwet Ketu, of course, knowing Vedas but not knowing the answer of this question, he was embarrassed. He asked, Father, what is that knowledge? So Father Abdalak tells him, as by knowing a lump of clay, all that is made of clay is known. This knowledge is the same knowledge. He asks his son to go to the garden, from the tree fetch a fruit. Fruit is brought, ask him to break the fruit. What do you see? I see seed. Break it further. What do you see? I don't see anything. But this is what produced this tree. This is what brought the duality. This manifests in this beautiful big tree where you have branches and flowers and everything else. That is true. That is the truth. That is the self. That is the manifestation of the self. Tattvamasi. And you are that. Brahmasmi, I am that. Once you know him, you have known everything. Similarly, Premi Jano, once you have read and understood the deep underlying philosophy of this great, beautiful poem given by none other than the Lord himself, through 18 chapters, 700 verses, you are the realized one. I'm not saying you have realized, I'm saying you are the realized one. So for me to come here and say that I can speak on 18th chapter, still a long way to go. The knowledge of yoga, which Lord tells him, his friend and his disciple Arjuna on the battlefield, is the knowledge of yoga. But this knowledge is not for the first time given by him to the mankind. Son gave it to Manu. Manu gave it to Shwaku. Reiterated time and again whenever we needed it. Whenever humanity needed it. Yada yada hi dharmasya kalanir bhavti bharate abhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyam. Gita's message of deliverance is simple, but at the same time, it's the supreme secret available only to those who are completely devoted. It is not meant for people who doubt. While the rich can afford to buy off gods through their sacrifices, offerings of sacrifices, and the intelligent one, the cultured one, they can pursue by way of knowledge. What does Gita does? It teaches a way which is within the reach of all, that is bhakti and devotion to him. Whenever I say him, put capital H. The poet makes the teacher or the friend very God himself descended into humanity. And here Guru Govind dono khade kaake lagu paaye, balihari Guru aapne jin Govind diyo milaye, So when Krishna comes to Arjuna and he tells him about this truth, he takes him as his guru. But what happens? Why do you need that lesson to come to you all the time? In our daily routines, in our lives, we forget our eternal friendship with him. Again, H capital. He teaches us Swarup Siddhi. Find out your own self. The only way is that he tells you throughout, especially in chapter 18, path of devotion, total submission, renunciation. Scene of battleground. Arjuna is expected to destroy the evil, being on the side of the righteousness. Lord Krishna is beside him. Arjuna shrinks from his duty, looking at the other side. Bhishma Pitama, Guru Dorn, my cousins, how can I kill them for the sake of a land, piece of land, for the sake of state, for the sake of ruling? He is confused. He is despondent, but he does not know right from wrong at that point in time. This mood of despair, which is described in the first chapter, that Arjuna finds himself in, is what the mystics all over have called the dark night of the soul, Kalaratri, which is an essential step to upward path, to the path of liberation, to the path of freedom, and to the path of self-realization. Arjuna tries to evade this rigorous ordeal, this hard work. It's very hard work, but he's a Kshatriya. It is his duty to kill for the sake of righteousness, not for the sake of state. So Arjuna is evading this rigorous ordeal, and his excuses are absolutely spacious. Here we see a fundamentally great insight into man's heart. Whenever you are exposed to something as fundamental as this, conflict of motives, selfishness, lack of clarity of the purpose that you are here for, you find this dilemma. And as the dialogue proceeds through those beautiful 18 chapters, this veil of darkness, this veil of doubts starts disappearing. In India, teacher is the God, favorite God, who is at once human and divine. Krishna tells Arjuna, Swadharma, his own duty. He shows him his Virat Roop. And what is the Virat Roop? You think you are the doer. You think you are doing it. You are killing. Completely confused you are. I am the one. See my roop. Everything goes into me and everything comes out of me. I have chosen you as an instrument. So instrument should not arrogate to himself in the presence of the teacher or in the presence of the Lord. That, sir, I will not raise the bow. I will not take the arrows. So he shows him the Virat Roop. And Arjuna, when he sees this, he gets into trepidation. Oh my goodness, what I've seen. This is not for a common man's senses to see and to perceive. So when Krishna tells him that you are not the doer, I am the one. I am the Brahma. From me came everything, including you and the rest. When an individual is freed from passion and desire and ignorance, purified by the fire of wisdom, then only he attains the state of God. So here we see in Gita and why it is so relevant all through. Why people from all over the world reads it and find some connect. Christians, Muslims, Buddhists, everybody. Is because its message is universal. No dogma attached. You seek me through inward experience. It's all experiential. Nothing through the books. You see for yourself. When you find your own answer, the way you want to find it, your own way, then only it makes sense. Verse 63. Itite gyan makyatam guhyad guhyataramaya vimarshiye tada asheshen yathechasi tada kuru yathechasi tada kuru. I have explained you the knowledge, the most secret of it, the most deep of it. Now, see what Lord tells him. That's very important. When you argue your case about universalism, about belonging to every individual, every soul, this is the universalism that Lord tells you. He says, I have explained you the knowledge, which is the deepest of the deep knowledge. Deliberate on it fully. And then you do what you wish to do, underline. Not what you need to do. The need of the hour may be different. But I have given you the instrument. I tell you what you want to do. So you decide. Based on my message, your understanding of that message, and how you incorporate, internalize that message into fighting the daily battles that you come across in your lives. He says, I'm not going to force you. No interference. From the God and the little independence of the living entities. People say, सब लिख के आया भाई, change नहीं कर सकते. हाँ, कुछ चीजें change नहीं कर सकते. But still he has given certain amount of leverage, and that is where the karmic cycle comes around. That's where your duty comes around. But beyond the knowledge and the karma, the path he teaches for liberation is the path of devotion. You come to me and you get the answers to all your dilemmas and your queries. Verse 66. And understand the meaning of this verse. Very, very important. Again, killing all the dogmas and the bigotry that face all of us when we talk about the ultimate messages. Sarv dharman parityaje mame ekam sharanam vraj aham tvam sarv papi bhayo mokshe shayami ma shucha. Abandon all religious injunctions. You don't even follow the religion. Don't follow Gita. Don't follow Ved. All useless. This is Lord telling him after the entire discourse. Just surrender yourself to me, and I shall deliver you from all the sinful reactions. Don't fear. You see that same thing happening in Islam. Islam Taslim. You come to me and you will be saved. Same thing by Bible. Jesus says the same thing. So what is the path that all evolved people have spoken about? It is the path of devotion. It is the path of bhakti. After explaining him the entire knowledge and the processes of dharma and the deepest of the deep knowledge and the secrets, Krishna tells Arjuna, forget about everything, man, don't bother. Whatever I've taught you is all waste. Just surrender yourself to me. No wastage of time. Because I know that path is very difficult. It's meant for a certain set of people, and you're not that set of people. So just devote yourself to me, and I'll deliver you from all your dilemmas, and you become clear in your minds. And this is where chapter 18, where it talks about renunciation, when it talks about the ultimate sacrifice, comes in. The love for Supreme involves giving up of all else. Brahad Upanishad. What shall we do with progeny? When we have got this being, B capital, this world to live in. बच्चों का क्या करना है? बीवी का क्या करना है? Meditation is the unmanifested absolute which leads to the goal. Meditation. But Krishna urges to Arjuna, that's a hard process, it's not an easy process. You can meditate, definitely you'll reach, you will realize, you will be free. But And that's a very difficult path. It does not provide a foothold for ordinary men like you and me, from which he could approach him. I'm going to make a very interesting statement here. I'm sure many of you will not agree with me. The love that we feel towards something involves an element of separatedness. However closely love may unite, the love and the beloved remain two distinct entities. And the more distinct you are, the more further you are away from each other. The more intense the longing is, the more intense the love should be if you are the genuinely true lover. And that's what he says to his disciple, Arjuna. With complete sacrifice of all, including your own self, including your own ego, you can realize me, otherwise you cannot. So for true bhakti, what do we need? We require Shraddha. We require faith. The highest reality is to be assumed till it reveals itself in devotees' consciousness. And thankfully, Hinduism provides all that. You have got 30 crore Devi Devtas. Everybody has their own. What does it say? It says, you choose the manifestation. You choose the way, you choose the path. All paths lead to the same place. Fundamental question, primary question. And this takes into account the unlimited habits and the variety of people that we are. So there is no dogma here. We are not saying, this is my book, this is the way, this is the only way. Do it, otherwise go to hell. No. It's not that. Krishna tells him so many ways. He contradicts him. And I will prove the contradiction, reading the Gita. This devotion is the lower form. The avatars of the divine, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. But they are subordinate to the Brahma, Purushottam. As long as the path of devotion and the worship done through that path purifies your heart and prepares the mind for the higher consciousness, it will lead us to Brahma. A man is what he thinks, what his thoughts are. Whatever he has faith in, that he will attain to. So if you have faith in attaining to him, in finding the freedom for yourself, in going through that process of liberation, you will one day. It may take several births, continuous cycle of life and death, but it will come around as long as you are intensely committed to it. So Shraddha requires complete and total surrender. That's what God says. It leads to unselfish conduct. And here I'm going to talk about the difference between faith and belief, which is where we all fight amongst each other when we talk about religion. Because here in Gita there is no religion. Faith and belief. Belief is dogmatic. I know. That's my belief. I've read this. Come on, you don't know. Faith, I'm confused. I don't know. He has told me to surrender. But how do I know that my surrender will lead me to that path? How can I believe in him? That is faith. When you plunge, when you take the deepest of the plunges, it's only then faith comes in. And what Gita tells you, and what many others. By the way, Gita is the lower form, you know that. We have the tradition of Shruti and Smriti. Shruti is what is revealed through the Vedas. And Smriti is what? The Upanishad, when you sit at the feet of the Guru, he teaches you. Smriti, from one mind to another, it can get corrupted. Smriti, problem. Shruti, always there. So when Smriti comes, Gita Upanishad is the part of Smriti, part of Upanishad. So the difference between faith and belief, never use the word belief. Always use the word faith, because it shows that you are a man of understanding. You will achieve through the sense of not being so self-sure. You will achieve through the sense of I don't know. It's the best answer, no? I don't know. So keep on asking that question, whether I know or not. And if you are able to answer that question one day, one point in time in your life, many cycles of it, might get liberated. But does the devotion to the ultimate, does it talk about not doing anything? I mean, sit idle, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. Does it lead you somewhere? Is it what Gita is telling you? Lord does not want any of us to give up our duties. We must continue to work the karma marg, which is the divine service. Vishnu Puran, it says, those who give up their duties and sit down uttering the name of Krishna, Krishna, they are the real enemies of the world and the God, and they are the real sinners. Even the Lord takes birth in the world for the sake of righteousness. Our conduct, our work should promote the interest of righteousness, which is at the same time result in spiritual rest and satisfaction. The question is, what is good conduct and bad conduct? Good work, bad work? Can somebody tell me? This is a moral dilemma which is for human beings living in the society. For him, there is nothing good and bad. It's yin and yang. It's Purush and Shakti. The only thing is, if the balance goes this way or that way, I come, I restore the balance. If I don't restore the balance, you may call it good and bad. I mean, very close is good for today's society, but when there were no close, was it bad? It is time specific, it is kal specific, it is space specific, it is kshetra specific. So depending on the societal evolution, you keep on changing the definition of morality, the good and bad of it. For him, no work is good or bad. Only thing he's exhorting you is to do your work. So when he asks you to kill your brothers and sisters and your guru, which he says is the manifestation of me, he is not seeking the morality of it. He is not asking whether the generations to come will say Arjun was a bad man because he killed his own. No. So the morality is for you and me, not for him. For him is the balance. We may fail in our efforts, but the central divine purpose can never be destroyed. Satyameva Jaynti Nandrutam. The Sat will manifest, come what may, irrespective. But this is the order. As long as it follows the rhythm, the natural order that he has created. Anything against the order will create asat. Lok samagra. Oneness, good for all. That's what we all talk about. These are the ethos which my land has taught us through ages. We cannot shrink from the task of fighting sin and injustice, even though we are committing those tasks again our own. So he says, Karmanyavadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Action taken with the spirit of detachment and indifference to the results of these actions. That is yoga. True renunciation consists of this. 18th chapter. Sannyas, giving up activities based on material desire, renounced order of life. And the tyag, giving up desire for fruits of one's action, much bigger. You can be ascetic sannyasi, living in forest, but working in the household, going to your office, and with the feeling of attachment, with the spirit of detachment, त्याग, करे जाओ, भूले जाओ, मिट्टी डालो, अपने आप मिल जाएगा. That's what he's talking about. All through in 18th chapter. So sannyas is good because it is the first path. You are renouncing those activities which will lead to certain fruits. Good, very fine. But he says that even when you are acting, tyag is more important. So you do what you are supposed to do. At the same time, don't seek the fruits. Fruits will come. You will be getting it. Don't worry. And these things are based on 3 gunas. We all are having our gunas when we came here. Sat, the state of being. Raj, the passion. Tamas, the ignorance. Giving up out of ignorance is tamas. That renunciation is not good. Giving up out of fear or consequences, bodily pain, for example, passion, this is rajas. But giving up without fear of consequences, in a spirit of detachment, that is sat. He says that certain acts must never be renunciated. And what are those? Sacrifice, charity, finance, must continue. These are sat. These are satgun. So I'm not asking you to renounce everything. What I'm asking you is to renounce the fruits of your action. Because, leave it to me, I will decide. The rhythm will decide. The natural order which I have created, it has continued. There is no end, there is no start. It continues. So that endless, the beginless process that I've created. And through this process I've created all those manifestations. You will get it. That's the message. That is basically the key message. त्याग में activities छोड़ी नहीं जाती. कौन सी activities जो अच्छी भी हैं, which you and I will believe are good activities, can they be taken as त्याग? I make a dharamshala. At the entrance of the dharamshala, I write my name in bold letters. Donated 5,000 rupees by Seth Hiramalji. Is it good deed? It is good deed. But it's not done with the sense of detachment. So he says that even the good deeds must be done with the state of detachment. The moment there is this feeling of I should get applause, ताली बजाओ बड़ा मजा आ रहा है. The moment you had that feeling, the moment you had the feeling of getting recognized for your actions, he says even the good actions are useless as far as I'm concerned. So when you want to do the dhan, don't tell the rest of the world. Because when he does the dhan, which he is doing every day, is he making a claim? He is not making the claim. I'm so hard pressed, I'm working all through. I'm not asking you to do anything. Then how can you as an individual ask? So true inaction is action without any hope of reward. Nashkarma, abstention from action is not true law of rhythm. Nishkamta. Disinterestedness is passion, anger, and covetousness are to be overcome. Gita does not demand rooting out passions. It says, purify yourself. You can control them. Gita is 100% sure. Inertia is not liberty. Don't sit here, Krishna, Krishna. Doesn't take you any further. Nor indeed can embodied beings completely relinquish actions. If I have come here in person, certain actions are warranted. Order of the day, order of the nature. Wordsworth, when he was sitting at Lake District, he writes these beautiful things. Can't change these fundamental things. The eyes cannot choose but see. We cannot bid the ear be still. Our bodies feel wherever they be, against our or with our will. So if you have indriyas, if you have senses, they will do their work. This is against the order, natural order. So rest is not on this earth. My colleague is sitting here. The only thing I talk about in my office is, don't rest for even a single minute. You'll find something to work on. And this work should be done with a sense of detachment. If I do something here, I should not think that my next posting should be ambassador to US, and then after that I should become foreign minister. If I do some work which is worthy of being recognized, I will. But he will decide whether my work is good enough or not. So this is called nishkamata. Work keeps up the circuit going. Each one should do the work to the best of their abilities. Gita is nothing but this very basic exhortation to action. We have to work to seek the freedom, the moksha. And when we attain it, we still have to work. We have to work to tell it to the others as an instrument of divine, so that they also get the moksha. And I say that moksha is not a state. A lot of people get confused with what is moksha. You die, you become one with him. No. It is the realization in this body. That is moksha. So when you realize in the oneness of everything, what is the difference between me and Tansri? Tansri can replace my job, I can replace his job. Of course. That is the oneness. And when you start looking at this to everybody, then this division in your mind and the intellect, which says somewhere, which confuses you all the time. This is the job of the mind, it will confuse you. When you still your mind, all confusions go away. That's the process of meditation. So Gita asks us to act in a manner that actions do not bind us. Does the Lord stop acting for the sake of humanity? No, he does not. He acts all the time. He acts to restore the balance. The free soul has the obligation, once you are liberated, that's your obligation, another set of work, to help others to discover the divine in themselves. Service to humanity is worship of God. Verse 46, chapter 18. To work desirelessly and personally for the sake of the world, and God does not bind us. Nor do these works bind me and thrown on high and attached to action. Mere withdrawal is not true renunciation, as he says. Hands may be at rest, legs may be still, but the desires are busy. Mind is busy. It's not the work that is binding us. It is the spirit behind the work. We all know, science has proven. The action starts here. The moment I think of slapping you, I've already slapped you. Because there are certain chemicals which flow in my mind, and through which the only thing is I have not raised my hands because of morality or because I am afraid of you. Otherwise, I've already done the action. So he says that this is extremely important. action in the way indicated by Gita is skilled action. Yogaha karmasu kaushala. Doing your job to the best of your abilities, as best as you can. I mean, you have done something extraordinary. Still there is a scope. And the moment you keep on working hard and hard and hard to continue upgrading, to continue reaching that perfection, because the moment you reach perfection, you have become one with Him. He has created everything perfect. And we do something and we start creating, taking credits. Oh my God, look at the quality I have produced. No. He tells you that continue that. Because there is always a possibility of you at least touching close to me. That's what Rajiv will say. I tell all my colleagues. I will never be happy with your job because I know this is the way I bootstrap you. You'll keep on rising yourself. And I know all of you, when you say and I say Brahmasmi, when you and I are one with Him, and He has created this beautiful everything, then I can definitely do a job better. That's what He's talking about. We have to exclude from our minds shades of selfishness, preference to some forms of work, desire for sympathy and applause. See the powerful message. Even the desire for applause is not recommendatory. Here, the gunas, as I told you earlier, these qualities play a very important role. Even the sat binds us. As I said, all good deeds done for the sense of getting applause, for the sense of getting name, they will bind you. Liberation can never come about from even the sattvic gun. Beyond the sattvic gun, the only way you can get liberated is by doing something and miti pao. Bhul jao. Mil jayega. Jo milna hai, mil jayega. All egos should cease. If you look at the Vedic period, the sacrifices, Gita transforms these sacrifices into two things, self-restraint and self-surrender, which is devotion. The true sacrifice is the sacrifice of the sense delights. What we offer, when we offer ourselves completely, total devotion, no questions asked. ISIS is one phenomenon. Nazism is another phenomenon. No questions asked. The leader has taught. But that is a very aversible phenomenon that we see on the planet. What Lord says is the actions are devoid of attachment. So even if I want to create the best of humanity through Nazism, it's not the right thing for the earth, because this is not the way. Rhythm is created. This is not the way. I have made the order. The order is there will be some good people, some bad people. There will be some disabled people. There will be some able-bodied people. There will be some beautiful people, some ugly people. This is the way. So don't touch my order. That's what he's saying. And then you sacrifice your own self. And what is the ultimate sacrifice? The ultimate sacrifice is the sacrifice of the ego. When I am not what I am, I don't even think who I am. I'm sitting in your feet, forgetting about myself. That is the ultimate sacrifice. Why do we burn our bodies? Hindus? Anybody? Ask yourself these questions. I've been asking myself these questions. This is the ultimate sacrifice. I came from those Panch Mahabhuta. I'm going back to Panch Mahabhuta. Agni is the vehicle, best vehicle. You put me in the earth, the fifth element, it will take time. You put me in water, it will still take time. Agni, quick, straight connect. Waves to waves. What I was 5 minutes ago, I am with him. So this is the ultimate sacrifice. So even in our last rites, final rites, we are still looking at what's called renunciation, what's called the sacrifice. When you start understanding, then there is no questions to be answered. Why do you burn? There is a reason why you burn. Why do you put below the earth? There is still a reason why I am putting you below the earth. All practices are good. There are so many ways to sacrifice. मिट्टी भी ले जाएगा, आग भी ले जाएगा, सब ले जाएगा. So he is saying that the ultimate sacrifice is the sacrifice of your ego to me as complete devotee. Karma is only a condition, it's not a destiny. We have to rise above affection and aversion, both. For any act to be accomplished, there are 5 elements which are necessary. Adhishthana, the basis of work. Why I am doing this? The karta, doer. The karana, instrumentation of nature. Cheshta, the effort, the work behind it. But another one, which is extremely important, we all forget. And this is where he links, don't seek fruits, even if you work hard. The Dev, the fate, it's beyond you. Even if I have worked very hard as a 12th grade student, day in and day out, I still can't pass that competitive exam. Because he says that there are many others who have worked harder than you. You don't know about it sitting in your house. So let me decide, whom should I reward and whom should I award? Dev, even with your 4 things done rightly, the moment Dev comes in, control it. All actions should lead to yoga, reunion, realization. When mind is still, ego is destroyed. Individual becomes one with the Supreme. Not only in work and consciousness, but in life and in being. Gyan is a method of attaining spiritual reality. And this is distinct from the Gyan as a spiritual institution. Moksha, as I said earlier, is a direct perception of God, not act of service. He is asking you to devote yourself, but still the service is only part of it. It's not correct. No devotion, no service, not even cognition, because cognition, intellect, it stops you from realizing. It always confuses you. He is telling everybody, I have given you so many paths. You take whatever path you want to, bhakti, jnana, karma, whatever path. You do your own experiments. Only through experience that you can realize the ultimate. And that is the best part. Because here, there is no religious authority. There is no Geeta. There is no Ved, Puran, Upanishad. There is no Bible, Quran. He says, I have told you that you have the final answer is this. Now, how do you arrive at that answer? Is all your issue, all your problem. So, to attain him, different paths are tried. And Gita says, try to know me. See the beautiful statement he makes in earlier chapter. And I thought I should try and bring that here. If you can't contemplate me, practice yoga. If you're not equal to this, try to service me by dedicating all your work to me. If you find it hard, do your duty regardless of consequences, giving up all desires of fruits. So I've given you various things, line of action. But depending on what you are, who you are, and how you want to do, you choose. So he's confusing his man. He's confusing his disciple. But that confusion is not in his mind. He's saying that those 30 crore Devi Devtas are all you, and you realize the way you want to do. The Atma is in all beings are in Atma. Gita to end insists much on social duties. It believes in infinite destiny of the individual apart from human society. What I'm doing for the society is one thing, but beyond it, what I have to do for me, to ask again that fundamental question which I started with all the time. Sannyasi is above rules, he is above caste, he is above society. But this is not an ascetic ideal that is sannyasi adopts. He is aloof from the society, but still paramount in his mind and his action is compassion for all. Mahadev, Shivji, the ideal ascetic. Where does he live? बर्फ में, ठंडे में, नंगे बैठे हैं, क्या पी रहे हैं? जहर पी रहे हैं, किसके लिए पी रहे हैं? आपके लिए, मेरे लिए. He is the ideal ascetic. But yet, whatever he is doing is for the sake of you and me and the humanity. I will end. Many things I can say still, but I think time is running short. Just in 40 minutes. Not bad. So I will recite what I think is extremely important. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandham Pushtivardhanam Urvarukam Yavbandhanat Mrityormukshi